Right, first up for the speeches, Neil McAleer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, thanks to everyone for coming today and sharing this special occasion with Brendan and Laura. I'd just like to say a few short words. I'll try not to keep you too long, as I know there's a few people out there looking to get onto the dance floor, myself included. I'm sure all the guys in the room will agree with me that Maggie, Natalie, Ashley and Kaylee all look wonderful tonight. They've all done a great job in the past few weeks preparing for this big day. It's a credit to each of them. As good as all the bridesmaids look, I have to say Laura is stunning tonight. Beautiful on her wedding day, as always. Hold on here now. My name is Neil and I'm Brendan's older brother. I know what you're thinking, they can't be brothers, they look so different. However, I think Brendan was adopted. He's so different to anyone in our family in so many ways. Brendan as a child was a real good looking fella. All my aunties adored him and called him the handsome one. He was my auntie's favourite. It was a glint in his eye and the love curl in his hair that caught the older lady's attention. The lady who lived next door, Mabel, as well, thought he was a fine thing. At 5 years of age, the world was his oyster. If he ever wanted sweets or ice cream, all he had to do was put the big smile on and ring the bell next door. Can't say I was jealous of this, because as soon as Mabel closed the door, I'd be over to take the sweets off him. Those 5 years in age difference gave me the upper hand. It was good while it lasted, but the word got out that Brendan had the charm factor, and before he knew it, hold on. The older boys in the park had him knocking on her door 4 or 5 times a day. The good thing soon came to the end, as she soon caught on. Growing up, Brendan had several passing ambitions as a child. A few that I remember, Benny, are a snooker player, a darts player, and a basketball star and a DJ. He also gave himself the nickname Benny B-Child, for reasons unknown. This was to be his DJ name when he became famous. The snooker dream was ended by the fact that his highest break was 8. I seen him potting a red and a black once. Hardly good enough for the international stage. As for basketball, in Brendan's case, white men definitely can't jump. He thought he was a Harlem Globetrotter. To be fair, he was quite useful at the basketball. The most fun we had with basketball was actually when we helped our little sister Joanne. At the time she was about that height. What do we do with her? We lifted her up to the basketball ring and left her dangling there as we went back inside to the house. When we came out, she was still hanging there. Joanne reminds us about this to this day. As a child, Brendan got into very little trouble. Growing up, I was the doer and Brendan was the thinker. No matter what I did, I got caught. Brendan learned from my mistakes and found ways around getting caught. In the early years, my parents looked upon Brendan as a saint, although I can tell you he was no saint. Later in his years, Brendan went to the Christian Brothers Grammar School and did pretty well. Great things were expected of him. From here he went to John Moores University in Liverpool to study sports science. But that didn't last. Brendan was his own man and eventually he gave it up to concentrate on working. After several years in Liverpool, he decided to call time and headed off to Canada to have a look around him. At some point in this trip, I became aware that he had begun seeing someone. This was the beginning of something special for Brendan and Laura, and has developed what we have today. I've heard a story actually from Gareth there about, I'll let Gareth tell you that later on. In early 2007, Brendan and Laura decided to make the big move back to Ireland, with Laura arriving with a year's work visa. Brendan arrived first. Brendan found a job in Bang Cafe, and this is where he worked for the year. At this point, I'm lost for words as to anything funny Brendan has done. All he ever did in Maynooth was work. He he had Sundays off and usually wanted to go for a few drinks, but everyone else had been out Friday and Saturday night and were back to work on Monday, so nobody wanted to go out with him. All I can say, Benny, is, Benny, you've changed. I was back home for the weekend before this trip to Canada. I found out some things about Brendan that he did growing up. My mother used a phrase to describe Brendan that I felt was very fitting. Thanks, Mum. But short of words here. What did she say? How long have it here? Oh yeah. If Brendan fell into a river, he'd come out of it holding a salmon. Basically, that sums Brendan up. I know I said I was lost for words on Brendan when he arrived in Maynooth for a year's stay. However, there was another person that arrived and lived with Brendan for the year. Look, I've lost a page for this. So, oh Christ, this is good. Like.
The boys probably took it. Go on, you can do it.
Lost it, shit. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Ah, bollocks, lads. Who stole my page? Guys, I have 4 pages. Oh, shit, lads. I can't make it. I lost that there now.
Cheers.
Well, the crack was, Laura started off life in Maynooth. She started a job in Ziba hairdressing, and it was Laura's just her first job. And the first few nights she was working there, she actually got invited down to Dublin for a night out, and she wanted to make a good impression, you know, because she only started work, so she just thought, like, you know, I'd like to make a good impression here tonight. But things was, they went to like a fashion show. Was it a fashion show, Laura?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Was it a fashion show, Gemma? Yeah. Well, anyways, there's this guy who was walking past wearing like a tuxedo and holding a tray of drinks, and Laura thought this guy was the waiter. So Laura proceeds to actually go across and try to grab one of the drinks. Actually, she just tossed the whole tray out of his hand. And as things turned out, he actually wasn't the waiter. He just paid for the drinks up at the. So next day, I called around to see Laura the next day, and she was mortified. She was actually she thought she was going to lose her job and all sorts, you know. But things turned out very well for her. That she actually started really enjoying life in Maynooth. I had 2 other stories here. What was the other one? Oh yeah, it was actually Halloween. Laura puts a lot of preparation and stuff into big events. So when Halloween came around in Ireland in 2007, Laura decorated the whole house, got dressed up, got loads of food, candy and stuff for the kids, and she thought there'd be loads of kids calling around the house. Eventually, like after sitting there for hours and hours, nobody called around apart from myself, so I helped myself to the candy. But there's one kid was passing by. Laura tried to intercept him and drag him into the house, but she actually scared him off, so he went running. And like Halloween's on October the 31st, is it or something? So, but a couple of days later, to make up for this, nothing can keep Laura down, because a few days later, Laura was, she had the Christmas decorations up in early November. I think she was the first person in Ireland to have her Christmas decorations up. What's the other one? Oh yeah, the football. Laura arrived, she actually had a bad accident or playing football here, so she had to get knee surgery done. So she came over to Ireland, she couldn't play football for a long time, but eventually she got fit again and she was able to play, like, and she was, so we played a bit of 5-a-side football, and we took her up to a place called Selbridge. I rang her to say, Laura, do you fancy a game of football? She says, I do. She's actually so excited on the phone, like, you know, I can't say anybody getting so excited as Laura does, like, about things, you know. So we called round to the house, we picked her up. She was standing outside waiting for us, you know. So, but we picked her up anyway, and we brought her along, and the guys from the other team started laughing. They go, "You're playing with a girl," like, you know. So, you know, but they didn't actually know how good Laura actually was. But we went 3-0 up in the first few minutes, and I think Laura scored at least 1, maybe 2 of the goals, like, so that sort of stopped the laughing from the other guys. Anyway, like, you know, so, but At that point, guys, I had stuff on another page. I just can't actually remember what was on it. But, I think it's one of those boys came up to my jacket and took a page. Fakers. It's Mickey L, bet you. Mickey L, something there. Mickey, where's the page? I had the 4 pages all night until I went up to my jacket to get me 4 pages. But guys, I'd just like for everyone to just stand up, and I'd like to propose a toast for Laura and Brendan. At this point as well, I had actually a little sentence written out. I can't remember what it was, but guys, it's just guys, I hope you have a happy, long relationship together for life, of course. And I wish you all the best in the future. So guys, to Brendan and Laura, for the future. Thanks, guys.
Well done.